Hello, Lensmates. Book Lens here. I'm so glad you're joining me. Go ahead and get comfortable wherever you are. Maybe you're settling in for the night or just need a quiet moment. Today, we're going to dive into a really remarkable story. It's about the HBO film OG and what makes it maybe the most authentic prison film ever made.
So, first things first, the title of the film is OG. What does that even mean? Well, it originally stood for Original Gangster, a term that popped up back in the early 70s. But, language evolves. Now, it's kind of broadened out to mean an originator, someone who's a trailblazer, deeply respected. It's a title with some real weight to it, and that's absolutely central to what this film is all about.
Which of course brings us to the big question, right? I mean, we've all seen prison movies. It's a genre that's, let's be honest, full of cliches. So how do you make one that feels real? How did the director, Madeline Sackler, manage to cut through all that noise and create something genuinely authentic? Well, it turns out the answer was a couple of incredibly bold, almost unheard of choices.
Okay, so let's talk about the first big choice they made, the setting. You'd think they'd build a set, right? Or maybe find an old abandoned prison. Nope. They decided to film the entire thing inside a real, working, fully operational prison.
And not just any prison. We're talking a level 4 maximum security facility. The whole movie was shot right there, inside the Pendleton Correctional Facility in Indiana. Just imagine that. That one decision, it just grounds the entire film in this raw, inescapable reality. You just can't fake that on a Hollywood set. The kind of access they got was, well, it was unheard of. For 5 whole weeks, the crew was filming inside Pendleton, in the yard, in real cells, in the common areas, all while the prison was running as usual. They worked with the staff, and here's the kicker. They cast men who were actually incarcerated there as actors in the movie. That's where the line between a movie and a documentary starts to get really, really blurry. And this idea of casting from the inside, it wasn't just for filling out the background. Oh no, it was absolutely essential to the heart of the film, and it led them to find a truly powerful, undiscovered talent. This is Theophis Carter. He plays a major role in the film, the character of Beecher, and he wasn't a professional actor. When they were filming, he was an inmate at Pendleton, serving a 65-year sentence. He had literally never acted a day in his life before this. You can only imagine what this experience was like for him. He said it made him feel like he mattered again. Think about that. In a place that's designed to kind of erase your identity, being part of this film gave him this incredible sense of purpose, a feeling of humanity. It wasn't just about playing a part in a movie. For him, it was a lifeline. And this is where life and art just completely merged. The character he played, Beecher, was originally written to be much younger. But once they cast Theophis Carter, they actually worked with him to rewrite parts of the script. They folded his own life experiences right into the character to make it feel more true. His real life was feeling the fiction, and it gave the role a kind of depth that, honestly, you just can't write.
So think about the dynamic on set for a minute. It's pretty extraordinary. You've got a world-class actor like Jeffrey Wright, who at the end of the day gets to go home. And then you have his co-star, Theophis Carter, who when the director yelled cut, went back to his cell in the exact same building.
And that contrast, that's really the secret sauce of this whole film. You've got Jeffrey Wright, this master of his craft, bringing all his artistry and training. And right next to him, you've got Theophis Carter, bringing his raw, unfiltered, lived reality. It's that blend of professional acting and actual life experience that creates something so powerful, so tense, and so unbelievably authentic on screen. For Carter, the whole thing was huge. He said that making the film, it just filled up the space in his mind that used to be occupied by, as he put it, the street life. It gave him a new focus, a creative outlet,
and maybe most importantly, a sense of hope in a place where hope is pretty hard to come by.
But this story is actually bigger than just one movie. The project just kept growing, creating these ripples that went way beyond the film set and ended up giving a voice to a lot more people on the inside.
So check out how this all evolved. It started with the director, Madeline Sackler, teaching a filmmaking workshop to 13 inmates. That workshop is what sparked the idea for the movie OG. But then the Mennonite class said, hey, we want to tell our own stories. So they ended up co-directing their own documentary. And from there, it just kept going, all the way to a New York art gallery showcasing art made by formerly incarcerated artists. Just amazing.
And to really get why a project like this is so important, you kind of have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The numbers in the US are just staggering. We're talking 2.3 million people behind bars, another 4.6 million on parole or probation, and get this, 1 out of every 3 Americans has a criminal record. These aren't small numbers. This is a huge part of our society. And that's exactly why OG is more than just a movie. By throwing out the filmmaking rulebook, it does something so much more important. It punches through the stereotypes. It goes beyond the cult statistics, and it humanizes a population that's so often invisible. It makes you see individuals, not just inmates.
The critics definitely took notice. The Economist put it really well. They said if the director's goal was to break all the stereotypes of the prison drama genre, then she absolutely succeeded. The film's realness was its superpower, and it got a ton of praise and awards for it.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. OG is technically a fictional film, but by making it in such a radical way, it revealed something deeply true. And it just makes you wonder, if this one film could uncover so much truth and talent, how many other stories, how much more human potential is locked away, just waiting for a chance to be heard? Something to ponder. Thanks for joining me tonight, Lensmates. Rest well.